Since the aftermath of the Scopes trial, it appeared that the teaching of creationism in public schools was no longer an issue. But with the electing of many ultra-right-wing politicians during the midterm election of 2010, this country has seen a reigniting of the battle between teaching creationism, which is the premise that a deity created the universe in 7 days, versus teaching evolution, the process of gradual changes in all living things over generations, in our public schools. Many conservative states, including Texas and Tennessee, have introduced legislation that would allow creationism to be taught alongside evolution during science class. I strongly think that this type of legislation is negative and, if enacted, would put the education of our children at stake, especially those children who would become interested in careers in the natural sciences. So, why should we keep creationism out of public schools? Well, we're in a time now where our country's education system is failing to give our children a competent education, especially in the sciences. According to the results of the 2009 National Assessment of Educational Progress, less than half of 4th, 8th, and 12th graders were considered proficient in science. More specifically, the students were observed to having great difficulties in understanding scientific principles and knowing how to apply them. So to have states enforce the teaching of creationism alongside evolution would not only exacerbate this problem, because creationism contains concepts that have been proven to be factually untrue. In fact, according to the National Center for Science Education, the teaching of creationism in public schools is wrong, not only because the claims purported by it have been rejected by the scientific community for centuries, but it would greatly affect a student's understanding of evolution, a most critical concept that's needed to understand major sciences like biology, geology, and astronomy, and also serves as a key foundation of modern medicine and agriculture. Creationism also affects a student's grasp of other science-related and mathematical branches, such as thermodynamics and statistics. Creationist principles also distort and misinform students about the scientific method, the strategy in which scientists research, obtain, and test data, often because the perpetuators of creationism do not understand what scientific theories and principles postulate. While the supporters of creationism to be taught alongside evolution, as with the case in Tennessee's SB-893 bill, say that the idea is to encourage students to challenge and question current scientific thought and theory, opponents say that this type of legislation will only lead to scientifically unwarranted criticisms of evolution. Teaching creationism in public schools is wrong because it is a violation of the First Amendment, and that public schools will be teaching the Judeo-Christian creation story, thereby indicating that the state has established and endorsed a specific religion, as shown by the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling for the case Edwards versus Aguilar in Louisiana in 1987, which ruled that a law allowing creation science to be taught alongside evolution is unconstitutional because its intent was to advance a particular religion. This action is also discriminatory against people of other religious faiths and the non-religious. According to the Anti-Defamation League, in the section Religion in Public Schools, it is also unconstitutional for science teachers to teach creationism as fact. Laws that teach creationism alongside evolution, while on the surface may seem harmless, circumvent the law and inject religion into an environment that must be kept as objective and neutral territory. To conclude here, the centuries-old debate continues because religious fundamentalists, especially those in positions of power, are attempting to subjugate all of their constituents and fellow citizens into living as they think they should, whether all are in agreement about this or not. These people don't understand what the First Amendment really means or implies, and due to their rejection of current scientific information, they also have no understanding what scientific theories like evolution postulates, as I said earlier. Due to their cognitive dissonance on this issue, they distort the facts to fit their religious beliefs, knowingly misinforming lay people and especially children. These actions enable discrimination towards their fellow Americans and further handicap our country's education standards, which negatively impacts the future prosperity of our nation. As a secular American, I am for respecting everyone's religious choice. That means everyone, not just Christians. And it would be one thing if the Christian creationism story were discussed alongside with the creation stories of all religions within a comparative context. But it would be against our best interest to present those stories as fact or a credible set of principles within the science curriculum. The principle of church and state separation must be held to diligently, if we are to give our children the best possible chance to excel and improve our country when they become adults. And for that reason, and with others stated within this speech, is why I say that creationism needs to be kept out of public schools. Thank you.